All right, so I've had this Ryobi pressure washer for about 3 years now, and it's important that we do some maintenance on it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and show a quick oil change, as well as just some general practices of things that I do. So I'm gonna change the oil about every 6 months, depending on usage. And those are actually pretty simple on these. The other thing is you're gonna wanna check this air filter every so often, and that's just easily unclipped here. And you can check it from there. One other thing that you're gonna wanna do is if you're not gonna use this for quite a while, leave the motor run and then shut off the gas. So actually shut off the valve. And what that'll do is that'll burn up any gas that's in the carburetor and in the float bowl, and will keep it from gumming up over winter or your storage period. So let's go ahead. We're gonna show an oil change. I'm also gonna show what I do with the pump after each run. And that's basically just putting a little bit of a lubricant in there so the pump stays good. So let's go ahead and show what we've got.
All right, so what we have here is a very basic oil change. So what you're going to need here is a funnel. You are also going to need some sort of a drain catch or bucket to put these into, to put the existing oil into. And all you're going to do is take the little cap off, as you can see on the ground there, and tilt the unit over, and that is going to drain out just about all of the oil. So this is something that is in the manual. This is the way Honda recommends that you do it. It felt a little bit wrong to me. I'm used to having some sort of a drain plug, but that is not the case with this. It just tilts right out and dumps the oil. What I'm going to do here is just skip right to the end. And this is us just finishing up draining out the oil. And I will say that this really needed an oil change. Probably had roughly, I'd say, 5 hours on this oil, and I could definitely see, quite a bit of metallic shavings in it. Not more than what I would expect, but it definitely needed an oil change. As far as the oil selection goes, I went with Honda OEM oil, and I went with a 10W30 weight. So all you need to do is just pour it. I bought a 12-ounce bottle, and I ended up having a little bit left over. So just fill it until you get to the center little dash mark on the dipstick, and just go ahead and fill it up, and you should be good to go.
So another product I'm a big fan of is the sea foam. I will put a little bit of this in with every fill up. So we'll go ahead, just put a little bit of this in, we'll top off the tank, and then we're gonna fill up our soap area down there with soap. Now another good habit is when you are filling up your tank of gas, it's good to use a product like Stable. If you're not going to use the gas up within a few months, throw some Stable in there and that gas will last a lot longer. Now, one of the general things you want to know with a pressure washer is you always want the water running. So empty out your hose and let it run for a little bit to clear out any iron or any deposits that are in there. You don't want that getting in the pump. So flush out your hose, plug it in, turn the hose on, and then you can start the motor to this. Then you'll just want to connect your hose nice and tight. And then go ahead and connect the wand hose to the back of the unit. It doesn't need to be overly tight, just snug. Then we're gonna go ahead and turn the water on, because again, you always want the water running when you turn this on. Also, an important note is make sure you don't have any kinks in this hose that would restrict any air or any water flow to the pump. Now what I do is I purge this wand, and you should have some water that comes out. So that's just cleaning out any air that'd be in the system. So you can do that for about 30 seconds and just kind of let the water run through it. All right, we should be good there. So let's go ahead and try and fire this thing up and see how that goes. So you're gonna wanna flip this switch to the on position, pull this lever to start, make sure your gas valve is on or open. And then with this particular model, you do need to have the correct nozzle in before you start it up. All right, so I just shut the unit off so I could put some soap in. And one important note is when you shut this off, you're gonna wanna relieve the pressure from the hose before you switch the nozzle out. You could get yourself injured if you try to just take the switch nozzle heads there without releasing the pressure. So just wanna make a note of that. So I do have some soap in here. What I'm using is a Zep product, and that has worked pretty well for me. It suds up pretty nice and gets things nice and clean for me. So let's keep moving. So we just did a quick little spray here with some soap. And I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but we've got dirt just sliding down this. So again, with the soap, it says let it sit for about 5 minutes. It's sudsing up and dripping. And it's best not to do this in direct sunlight, so I'm trying to beat the day here and get it done early. This is looking really, really good. Much, much cleaner. You can see the dirt just pouring off. Awesome. All right, so last step is I put some of this pump protector in for the pressure washer. And so what we do here is tighten this on. Like so. And then you give it a couple good squeezes. And what I do is I squeeze it until I see a little bit come out the outlet. So we got a little bit that came out. And with it in the off position, I crank it once. If you saw that, a little bit shot out. Disconnect it and we are good to go. So that completes the maintenance for a pressure washer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.